ICE and federal law enforcement partners just wrapped up a month-long surge operation arresting nearly 1,500 illegal aliens in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. During the enhanced operation, dubbed Operation Patriot, ICE Boston and other federal law enforcement personnel focused on transnational organized crime, gangs, and dangerous illegal alien offenders throughout Mass. More than half of the nearly 1,500 illegals arrested had significant criminal convictions or charges pending against them. Immigration security is national security. And that's why the Trump administration, at the direction of our great president, has secured our border, strengthened our immigration system, and has taken immediate steps to protect the United States from foreign terrorists and other public safety threats.
If sanctuary cities would change their policies and turn these violent criminal aliens over to us, into our custody, instead of releasing them into the public, we would not have to go out to the communities and do this. Boston's my hometown, and it really shocks me that officials all over Massachusetts would rather release sex offenders, fentanyl dealers, drug dealers, human traffickers, and child rapists back into the neighborhoods.
Amid the intensifying immigration crackdown, over 1,500 non-citizens with criminal records have been arrested in Massachusetts, marking one of the largest ICE operations under the Trump administration. Dubbed as Operation Patriot, it is now the largest ICE crackdown in U.S. history, targeting violent, undocumented criminals. Over 1,500 undocumented immigrants with serious criminal records have been arrested across Massachusetts. As a sanctuary state, Massachusetts has been a key focus for federal immigration enforcement, which has struggled at times to locate and detain illegal immigrants with criminal charges and convictions. Due to laws that prevent local law enforcement from working with them, the month-long operation focused on sanctuary cities where ICE faces local resistance to immigration enforcement.
Immigration security is national security. And that's why the Trump administration, at the direction of our great president, has secured our border, strengthened our immigration system, and has taken immediate steps to protect the United States from foreign terrorists and other public safety threats. President Trump acted swiftly upon taking office to reform our visa issuance process to ensure that dangerous aliens who are intent on harming Americans or our national security interests are no longer admitted into our country. Under the Trump administration, aliens will only be admitted into the United States through the legal process and only if they do not bear hostile attitudes towards our citizens, our culture, our government, our institutions, or most importantly, our founding principles. Under President Trump, the United States has zero tolerance for foreign visitors who support terrorism. Violators of U.S. law, including international students, will continue to face visa denial or revocation and deportation. And illegal alien criminals will continue to be arrested and deported from our country. On that note, ICE and federal law enforcement partners just wrapped up a month-long surge operation arresting nearly 1,500 illegal aliens in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. During the enhanced operation, dubbed Operation Patriot, ICE Boston and other federal law enforcement personnel focused on transnational organized crime, gangs, and dangerous illegal alien offenders throughout Mass. More than half of the nearly 1,500 illegals arrested had significant criminal convictions or charges pending against them. Here are just some of the violent illegal aliens who were removed from communities in Massachusetts during Operation Patriot. A Salvadorian national with active Interpol red notice for aggravated homicide. A Guatemalan national and registered sex offender who had pending criminal charges in Boston for 5 counts of indecent assault and battery on a person 14 or over. A Honduran national who was last arrested for rape, indecent assault, and battery of a person 14 or over. A Colombian national charged with kidnapping, aggravated rape, and indecent assault and battery on a person 14 or over. And a Guatemalan national who was convicted of murder in Boston. Also, a Brazilian national who was charged with aggravated rape of a child by force and possession of child pornography. Again, these are people who were living in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And lastly, a Salvadorian national whose criminal history includes charges of aggravated rape of a child by force. I don't think anybody in this room wants these types of heinous criminals in your communities. And it's thanks to this administration that they are being removed from our country.
On May 27 alone, about 40 undocumented immigrants were arrested in Martha's Vineyard in Nantucket. Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons said the effort prioritized fugitives, gang members, and violent repeat offenders. Those arrested include individuals accused of murder, rape, drug trafficking, and child sex crimes. Some of those taken into custody are believed to be members of gangs like MS-13 and Nicaragua. The arrests spanned multiple cities, including Boston, Lawrence, Worcester, Springfield, and the islands. Many of the targets had previously been deported and re-entered the U.S. illegally, some more than once. Last week, DHS said it was putting around 500 sanctuary cities, counties, and states on notice for not cooperating with it on immigration enforcement.
If sanctuary cities would change their policies and turn these violent criminal aliens over to us into our custody, instead of releasing them into the public, we would not have to go out to the communities and do this. Boston's my hometown, and it really shocks me that officials all over Massachusetts would rather release sex offenders, fentanyl dealers, drug dealers, human traffickers, and child rapists back into the neighborhoods.
We're going to treat everybody the same. Regardless of who they are, the laws will apply equally, and we will have the scales of justice back in place, but also understands that this may be difficult for some families, that families will be impacted, that some that have been in our country for many, many years, and we'll be able to stand there with the perspective of a wife and a mom and a grandma and communicate that to people, that we're going to work to make sure that we're not picking and choosing winners, but we're going to do this in a way that makes sense, and we're going to work with the American people to give their country back. I'm thankful he trusted me with that, and the mission of this department is to protect the country and to secure it within its borders and the homeland with integrity and with honesty. And what that means is we're going to be transparent. We're going to talk to you different than we ever have before. We're going to be more accountable. When you say things to me, we're going to run the traps on it and make sure you're telling me the truth. We're going to evaluate your contracts. We're going to make sure you're not taking more money of the taxpayers that isn't supposed to be spent, but that it's going to be deployed in a much more efficient way, and it's going to benefit the men and women who are on the front lines, and that we're going to have their backs finally. We're letting them do their jobs. And what I'd like to do is have every law enforcement officer in this room stand up. CBP, ICE, HSI, Coast Guard, law enforcement, federal, local, and state, stand up and let us give you a round of applause and thank you for all that you've done to protect our country. During one of my trips down to the border, when I was still serving as governor, I remember one of our Border Patrol officers and agents saying to me, listen, there's just no consequences for crossing our border. And without consequences, there is no enforcement and there is no law. The law doesn't matter. And that impacted me in such a way that it affects every way that I do this job today. There has to be consequences for breaking our laws. And there has to be consequences, and there has to be enforcement and prosecution. We are going to use every single tool that we have, and I'll run through a couple of those tools that I think are going to change the way that we operate in this country, and that it'll be ways that industry can partner with us. We're using new technologies in ways that we never have before. We're going to deploy new technologies not only at the border, but at our ports of entry and in our interior to make sure that we're sharing information with other agencies at all levels, and we're also going to be sharing more information, biometrics, DNA testing, and being much more efficient, working to get everybody more authorities that they need to be able to take action in every single interdiction that we have. That all of our agents can go in there and deal with what they face, whether it may be drugs or trafficking or breaking of laws that would be impacting a community in different ways that they just weren't empowered to do before. And we'll be deploying and partnering with industry to be more efficient and accountable to make sure that we're making the best use of our time. The CBP One app is one app that was deployed during the last presidential administration that we have completely changed. It was interesting, I did ask the federal government if we took the CBP One app and shut it down on day one, which we did do, how long would it take us to develop an app that would deport people and allow people to self-deport? And the federal government told me, boy, that's probably going to take us 4 to 6 months. So I went to Elon and his guys, and they said, we can do that in 24 hours. And in 24 hours, we had the CBP Home app up that allows individuals to go in there and send them messages from the federal government that says, if you are here illegally now, go home. And soon it will be that you can get on that app and it'll be Not only should you go home right now, but we will help you buy your plane ticket and your travel documents so that you can go today. We are, for the first time since World War II, enforcing the Alien Registration Act. The Alien Registration Act says that if you're in this country for longer than 30 days illegally, you must register with the federal government. And when those 30 days are up, and if you haven't done that, now we can criminally charge you. And we can go in and take you out of your home and deport you out of this country. And every day that you overstay, you are subject to up to $1,000 fine, and that you will be in violation of that. And when we deport you, you may never be allowed back into the United States again. But if you self-deport, and if you leave now and you use that app and you work with us to take you home, you may get the chance to come back and avoid those fines. If you think about people that have been in this country for years, that could be financially devastating to them with those fines and consequences. And that is why we are encouraging people to make sure that we're sending the message out that they need to register, self-deport, and get the opportunity to come back again. We'll have to definitely build out our immigration judges and our immigration courts to facilitate that, but that is something President Trump is definitely focused on making sure we have the resources to do. We'll continue to go after those with final removal orders and make sure that they are taken out and flown out of this country. And I'm so thankful to our fantastic Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, who has facilitated this with dozens of countries and making sure we have the travel documents we need to get people home.